Information systems and computer-based technologies are the mainstay of the world we live in today, with over 90% of Canadians aged 15 or older using the internet in one way or another. With computers and smartphones within reach, there is a very important question we must ask. Is information technology good for human well-being? The Merriam-Webster dictionary describes human well-being as a state of being happy, healthy, and prosperous. From this definition, we can say that to impact these aspects of a person's life is to impact their well-being. In this video, the effects of information technology on well-being will be explored by considering a variety of aspects. By looking specifically at its effects on brain development and function, intelligence, physical health, and mental health, it can be demonstrated that information technology is not good for human well-being.
Brain development and function are important parts of human well-being. In the past 5 years alone, studies have presented evidence that increased internet use and digital media consumption can change the ways our brains function, and unfortunately, these changes can be for the worse. For example, a 2016 study from the University of Helsinki in Finland found that multitasking when consuming digital media was associated with being more easily distracted. In this study, individuals who spent more time media multitasking, such as sending Facebook messages while also watching YouTube videos, scored poorly in tests that evaluated their ability to work through distractions. Furthermore, MRI images showed that when trying to ignore distractions, the same participants also had more brain activity in regions that relate to attentional control, meaning they had to put more effort into resisting distractions. The results of this study suggest that multitasking when using information systems can change the way our brains operate, requiring us to put more effort into not being distracted. Similarly, a 2-year study ending in 2016 by researchers from the University of California, San Diego, and the University of Southern California showed that participants who reported frequent use of digital media, such as online social media, also experienced an increase in ADHD symptoms. Outside the realm of distraction-related brain functions, studies have also drawn correlations between increased digital media consumption and physical brain development. A year-long study in 2018 from the University of Cincinnati and the Cincinnati Children's Hospital showed that increased screen time in children was correlated to lower integrity in areas of the brain that support language and literacy skills. Here, the researchers acknowledge that longer studies would be needed to determine the full effects on brain development and function, but the study nonetheless offers evidence that consumption of digital media can impair the brain's physical development. In summary, recent studies have shown that use of information systems can lead to changes in the way our brains develop and function, with effects including increased susceptibility to distraction and changes to brain development that may worsen language skills.
Information technology can also have some adverse effects on human beings' intelligence and knowledge retention. A critical reason for such effects includes the rapid reduction of attention spans, meaning less time dedicated to reading, leading to a decline in deep thinking. Additionally, widespread access to information might reduce the incentive to properly understand concepts, and might also reduce the incentive to remember and retain knowledge. Furthermore, information technology may cause us to lose cognitive skills that are important. Nowadays, there are many tasks can be accomplished using online tools or local computer programs with much fewer manual efforts required. The internet also discourages deep thinking by providing sufficient and even redundant information. The author of The Shallows, What the Internet is Doing to Our Brains, elaborates on his topic in one of his speeches. Neuroscientists have found that there are certain types of experiences that have particularly profound effects on our brain, and those that are highly repetitive have the most intensive influences. We are basically being trained to react accordingly with the signals and pop-ups of technology. Precisely speaking, these are the actions we are performing in our daily life in front of our electronics. Additionally, neuroscience also tells us that when we don't practice a broad range of methods of thinking, our brain may start to weaken in terms of the ways we think. By reducing incentive to retain knowledge and causing loss of certain cognitive skills, information systems pose a risk to both our happiness and prosperity, thereby negatively impacting our well-being as humans.
In addition to the effects on a human's brain, information technology is harmful to our physical wellness. Nowadays, people are looking at screens more frequently and for longer periods of time. This is causing a rise in eye and vision problems. Several universities in Egypt conducted a study about computer vision syndrome, or CVS, which describes a group of eye and vision-related problems that result from prolonged screen use. The study included 733 medical students and found that all ocular and extraocular complaints worsened with prolonged screen hours. They also performed a test of local retinal function on a subgroup of 40 students. The control group had all 20 participants exhibiting normal responses, while the CVS group, only 3 participants exhibited a normal response. The remaining 17 participants exhibited reduced response and were identified as positive cases. These findings reveal foveal dysfunction and retinal damage caused by screen usage. Technology has allowed for a more sedentary lifestyle for many people, which, as well as lowering physical fitness, has caused an increased rate of health issues. An Eastern Washington University study found that there is a strong relationship between youth inactivity and health. Their findings showed that advancements in technology has changed the behavior of the youth, since many have moved into a sedentary lifestyle and no longer participate in physical activity. They found that behaviors such as playing video games has made the youth inactive, resulting in health complications like cardiovascular disease, obesity, and type 2 diabetes. Another study from the University of Jyväskylä about health and social media use concluded that problematic daily users were twice as likely to suffer from neck, shoulder pain, and headaches.
Another major area of concern about the use of technology is how it impacts the mental health of individuals. Excessive use of technology, and primarily the internet, has been linked with feelings of depression, anxiety, irritability, loneliness, and other mental health symptoms among children, teens, and adults. Various studies have been conducted to address a relationship between internet addiction and mental health. However, it has been found that even individuals who are not identified as internet addicts can suffer from short-term mental health symptoms after recent use of the internet. One study conducted by the Kermanshah University of Medical Sciences in 2018 on Iranian university students categorized participants based on their internet use and analyzed mental health conditions. Then, through the Pearson correlation coefficient, it was established that symptoms of depression were mostly correlated with students that use the internet more frequently. Additional studies that use data from the National Health and Nutritional Examination Survey of 2012 have found that individuals that spend more time in front of a screen are more susceptible to developing depression. Many experts believe that the reduction in strong social relationships, increase in weight, and increased sleeping problems resulted in higher feelings of depression. Are individuals able to combat this addictive use of the internet? Well, that becomes difficult when considering social media and how addiction is built into their design. There are about 4.6 billion social media users in the world today, which equates to 58% of the world population. As social media companies compete for the attention of these users through the intermittent rewards of getting a like, discovering new trends, or being able to respond to a provocative post, individuals form an attachment to social media and a fear of missing out. The fatigue caused from compulsive social media use has been recognized to be related to depression and anxiety due to mental weakness, satisfaction decay, and the decline of cognitive abilities, making users prone to inadequate control of their mood. The interactions that users experience on social media also have a major impact on their mental health. Cyberbullying, trolls, a sense of exclusion, self-comparison, and emotionally triggering posts have all been shown to increase the feelings of depression and anxiety. While it is possible to have positive experiences online, a study of 300 university students by the University of New England, Australia, has discovered that more frequent social media use has resulted in more negative experiences, and consequently more depression and anxiety, with females being the most affected. Even studies conducted on 11 to 15-year-olds by the University of Jyväskylä in 2020 confirmed that frequent social media users were 3 times more likely to experience mental health problems and feeling low.
Another way that internet usage affects the mental health of users is by changing the quality and nature of a person's interpersonal relationships. The quality of a person's interpersonal relationships tends to decrease with an increase in the usage of the internet and social media. According to a study conducted by the Brigham Young University in 2018, spending as little as 10 minutes per day on social media was enough to cause a noticeable and consistent drop in the quality of both offline and online relationships. The study based the quality of relationships on factors such as trust, comfort, and communication. The same study found that over half of the 627 participants felt that the internet had negatively impacted either past or current relationships. In addition to the decrease in relationship quality, recent studies have found that increased internet usage, as well as other mass media, leads to the formation of parasocial relationships. Parasocial relationships are a type of one-sided relationship where a person feels a bond to a media figure or community. This leads to a sense of attachment and dependence despite having no direct interactions with others. Since there is no direct interaction with the figure, the media consumer can easily idealize the figure, and due to the instant availability of content through the internet, users become overly attached very easily. According to a paper published by the University of Minnesota, internet parasocial relationships create a feedback loop, where parasocial interactions with an online community builds dependency on the same community, thus leading to more interactions and so on. This habit-forming quality damages a person's direct relationships by replacing it with easy and instant gratification.
In conclusion, there is abundant evidence that demonstrate the negative impacts that information technology has on human well-being, from changes to brain functions, reduced cognitive abilities, worsening physical health, to increased mental health issues. It's clear that information technology and all the possibilities that it provides might just be the source of our human hardships.